So, working out. Probably one of the best things you could do for your body. So, from Exhibit A, we got this one. We got this bicep here, yeah? And like, same with these triceps. Can't see it because I'm still chunky as shit. Exhibit B, we also got... Alright, this one you can barely see, but like... I promise it's there. But, yeah. So working out. You get big muscles like that. And I mean... I'm still trying to do it because I was working out a good amount in high school, actually. But then I stopped a bit because of college, and it was like all super, like, fucky wucky with my brain. I promise I'll never say that again. Okay, no, I won't. I can't promise that, but yeah, no, I had to take a break from college because of all the loads, basically, I had to get. Not to be sus as fuck, but, you know. But yeah, so there's that. But now that I've kind of grown up and I've sort of understood, like, oh, that's how I'm supposed to, like, do things properly. You know, now I'm going back to the gym and I'm going back to doing my usual workout. I'm doing like a 5-day regimen where it's 2 upper body days, 2 leg days essentially, and then 1 cardio day. And then cardio days where I do boxing, which, hold on, let me, where I got these bad boys. Yeah. Got these, little, oh, yeah. I get to be a man, yeah. It's like my grandson moment, but, yeah, yeah. Feels good. Feels good to work out. And, you know, it's funny for me, saying all this because I remembered, in my junior year of high school, now, this was again the same time where, like, I was kind of in, like, an academic rut, you know, if you will, because, like, I was trying to rack up my GPA. My sort of ego was completely busted from, since, like, when I was growing up, I was known as, like, that smart nerd kid, and, you know, I wasn't really that athletic. I'm not gonna say I'm athletic still right now, although I'm kind of working towards it. But the thing is, I was definitely not athletic. I could barely run for shit, and wait, no, I was like, I could still barely run for shit, but like I'm working there. But either way though, I didn't really see myself as the type of person to be working out or like exercising or that sort of thing, because I thought, oh, that's not for me. That's not who I am, right? I'm like this one nerd who plays video games and studies all day. You know, that's who I am, right? But eventually when it came to high school, this is around the same time where my cousin just immigrated from Iran to America, and you know he was looking at, because like he was super into soccer, he still is, right? But he's really into soccer, and because like he got into more like fitness oriented classes, whereas I got more into more academic heavy classes, right? And so, you know, he went up to me one day and it was like, "Yo, you gotta work out," and I'm like, "But no, I don't want." And he's like, "All right, no, don't be a pussy bitch boy, all right, come on, you." When you get to your junior year, yeah, when you get to your junior year, you're gonna go out and just like take a weightlifting class. You're gonna do weight training, and I'm like, weight training? I mean, Can I even? Do you really think I can handle that class? Like, considering how weak as shit I am. And he's like, listen, it doesn't matter how weak you are. It matters, are you willing to put in the work or not to be stronger? And I'm like, I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, one way to find out. And And so I registered for that class. I didn't know what I was expecting. I thought it was gonna be like a lot of push-ups or like a lot of push-ups, a lot of like heavy weight like I'd have to lift like 200 pounds, 500 pounds, like a stupid amount of weight basically for beginning, right? But I went in and obviously I was really scared because a lot of these people are like people I've never seen before, like the types of people I would never have thought I would meet in like uh the classes I was in, because the thing about high school is that you're sort of like divide or like segregated almost in a sense, where it's like you'll see a lot of the smart kids and like all the higher like honors AP classes or IB class whatever, right? But you'll see like all the dumb kids or like athletic kids or whatever, people who don't give a shit about school and like the normal classes or whatever, and you'll see them more in like fitness oriented classes or like business class stuff like that, right? And you know, I got to be in that like dumb kid category, I guess. You know, like it's fucking stupid for me to say that because they're not stupid at all. They were very like they were probably as smart as I was, just in a different way, or like they just didn't give a shit about school, which is fair enough. But anyways, so yeah, I was surrounded with like a new type of people, and obviously I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, what do I do? What do I say, right? And so at first I was just kind of doing my own thing. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna be by myself. I'm probably gonna be that one kid by myself, just doing my own thing, whatever. It happens, I guess, right? And so, I'm out lifting weights, right? And this is when I first discovered actually that like my legs were weak as shit, and I couldn't squat and all that. And we'll get to why that's important later. But either way, a couple of people were looking at me, right? And they were like, "Dude, you need to go lower. You need to go lower, right?" And they're actually being supportive. They're like, "Go lower, go lower. You got this, man." But some of the coaches, it's funny. You think it'd be the opposite, right? It was like the coaches would be motivating you, but like some of the other kids would be kind of like making fun of you, whatever. It was the opposite dynamic, whereas like the coaches were making fun of me in a supportive way, if that makes sense. But everybody else was like, "You got this. Come on, you got to do this, man." Blah blah blah, right? And so I was trying my damn hardest to squat and just to go low enough, like ass in the grass, essentially. And I just couldn't do it. Not the first day. And then, eventually, what was it? I think I just kept on doing this over and over and over and over. And when it came to leg days, especially, those were the days I hated the most. Like, I absolutely hated those days so much. Because I was like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna have to do the thing I don't like, and I can't even do well. Because, like, I saw everybody else lifting like 160, 185, like 245 plates on both sides, 345 plate, like some were strong as fuck. Like it is ridiculous. But I could barely even lift the bar. Actually, I was doing body weights like for a month or two, maybe 3 months even. A long time basically. And throughout that like sort of period of me just sort of learning how to squat, right? What was it? A lot of coaches helped me, or like the coaches helped me a lot. I stayed and I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn this somehow. I'll get better at this. And same with like all the other people. They were like, hey, do you need help with squatting? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'd like some help if you got any advice or something. I took their advice. I kept on practicing up until I finally did it. And at some point, I was able to squat max 185. Actually, I think either in that semester or like the semester. No, actually, it was that semester. I remembered. It was that semester. I squatted 185 max. And I was like, what the fuck? I would have never done this ever in my life. How the fuck did I squat 185 max? Shit's still nuts to me, right? And, even with, like, upper body stuff, like, if I didn't understand things, like, I'm trying to work my way through, everybody was super supportive. I sort of got that energy. I was being supportive to other people as well, or tried to be at least. And, it was like a back and forth, and then I kept on doing more weight training stuff afterwards during high school. And I just had overall good time, except for, like, one semester, which just had, like, shitty coach. But it didn't matter that much, because the people there were very supportive of each other, and they were like, alright, yeah, let's make this fun, or, like, let's help each other out, let's do these things, that sort of thing, right? And it was just super cool. It was a great environment. It's like a very welcoming environment too. And it's something not a lot of people would associate the gym as, or like the weight room as, or anything like that, right? Because I remembered at the same period, I was also trying to get my friends who weren't so much into weightlifting like I was, right? I was trying to get them into weightlifting, like taking them to the weight room, and some of them had the same feelings as I had in the beginning, but I told them, hey, no, it's okay. You don't need to worry about this. You don't need these like high expectations of yourself. As long as you're doing it, that is much better than what you were doing like yesterday. And that's all that matters, really, And I still remember this. I remember my coaches were super proud of me of the fact that I even did like a squat, like a proper squat. And like other coaches were like, "Oh my god, thank you so much. Like you work so hard. You're a hard worker. You do good things." And I'm like, "Thank you." And I paid them back respect through because I was doing an internship in school, right? And I had a laser engraver, like an industrial laser engraver I can use, right? So I went up to my coach and I was like, "Do you need anything? I have an industrial laser engraver. I can make signs for you." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, make me some signs." And You know, if I find an image, it'll be up on the screen around here somewhere. But yeah, and that was my way of giving back gratitude. You know, it was like as a thank you, really. But that's just my own thing. That's like, you know, my morals of like giving like providing service is one of the best thank yous you can do for other people. But anyways, point being, I learned a lot from just that weight training experience, or like being in that gym, being in like a new environment, something that's like very uncomfortable for me, right? And you know, I learned a lot of techniques and a lot of like things to do, right? And so, you know, if you're just starting out at the gym, or like if this is like your first time ever being exposed to anything like this, it's it's totally fine. I was the same way, and I'm getting back into working out after such a long period of time. So like, I'm still trying to get back in shape. I remember I was like decently in shape back in high school, but I think I'm starting to get a lot more bulked up. Definitely got the beer belly still, but yeah, working towards it, right? And and again, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares, right? I'll say this. This is the number one thing you should know. Nobody cares about what you do in the gym heavily, right? Unless they're an asshole, then I mean, don't mind them. They got their own problems to handle. So, but either way, let's say that you're like level 0. You have never touched a gym. You have never done any weightlifting, nothing like that. Okay, well, where do you start? And that's a fair question to ask, right? Because it depends on who you ask as well. Because if you're asking someone like me, I would say, you know, start on YouTube, do the 3 fundamental lifts first, right? And those 3 fundamental lifts are bench press, squats, and deadlifts, right? Those are the 3 fundamental ones. Now, some would say otherwise, but I think you should start with those 3 just to get the good core foundations of it. And I mean, deadlifts is a bit of like a iffy one, right? But definitely bench press and squats you should be able to do, right? But still, deadlift is a good exercise for your hamstrings and for your legs. Like, it just helps for that sort of like, because squats can help with that too, but not as well. But anyways, it's getting more into the topic there. Start with those 3. Look up how to do those 3, and make sure you practice with just a bar first. And when you go into the gym for the first time, right? If you're going to do those 3 lifts, start with reps. Do only reps. Just don't worry about weight. And this should be the thing that you focus on from here on out, really, is reps. A lot of people love to focus on weights. And I get it, right? Weight is, like, it feels cool to say, yeah, I squatted, like, 225, you know, like 5 reps, for example, you know? That's fucking cool to say. Or like, I did 185-pound bench press. You know, that's like big numbers right there. Like, a lot of people may not think that, but those are big fucking numbers, my guy, right? And but the thing is, for your stage, you don't need to worry about that, okay? What you need to do is just walk into the gym, and if you already have that knowledge of 3 fundamental lifts, good. Practice on those. You don't have to be there for a long time. Just be there for like 30 minutes, and you should be okay. And just start like looking at the machines, messing around with the machines, right? And then if you feel comfortable, start going out and talking to people. Be like, hey, I'm new to the gym. Or hey, it's been a while since I've been to the gym. You know, what are you doing? What kind of exercise are you doing? Or what do you recommend for working on, let's say your shoulders or your chest, or like your triceps, or like what are the most important muscles to focus on, right? Stuff like that. And then once you start doing all that, then you can look at more YouTube videos, like other exercises you could do to focus on certain parts, and other leg exercise, or lower, upper body, all that stuff, right? And you know, I will say this, I could talk about like a whole workout regimen, but I won't at the moment, because the thing is, my workout regimen is sort of randomized, right? I have like a general idea of what I do, but it's more of like, I feel like doing this, I feel like doing that, I want to do that, right? And that's the thing too, you don't need a workout regimen. It's easier if you have a workout regimen, but the thing is, it also makes it more like automatic, right? Because see, the thing for me is like, I don't like to go out with like a plan, like what I'm exactly going to do. What I do instead, and if you want to follow this, go ahead, right? Is I figure out what day it is. and not like, oh, it's a Monday, Tuesday. Like, no shit. Yeah, right. Instead, I mean, like, am I going to work on upper body or lower body? Or if I'm not doing weightlifting, am I doing cardio or weightlifting, right? That could also be a question to start off with. And let's say that you're doing, lower body, right? Lower body. I'm not trying to flip you off. But, yeah, if you're doing lower body, right? Or, well, like, if I'm gonna do lower body, right? I'm gonna walk into the gym and, get myself settled in whatever, drink some water, right? Oh, by the way, make sure you hydrate. Hydration is a #1 key thing when it comes to working out, okay? So, you go into the gym, you settle, and then what I do is I follow this, all right? Every exercise I do 4 sets of 10. Remember that number and terminology. 4 sets of 10. Now, what is a set and what are reps, right? I know I've been throwing those words around and I haven't explained it, but a rep, in the context of push-ups, let's say, right? Let's say I want to do 4 sets of 20 push-ups, okay? So a rep would be 1 push-up. 1 push-up equals 1 rep. Or 1 squat equals 1 rep. 1 bench press, like, boom, boom, that's 1 rep, okay? A set is, a set of reps. So, like, however many reps you want to do in, like, one go, basically, right? So, like, if you say 4 sets of 20 push-ups, you're gonna do 20 push-ups in one go, right? Like, 20, So 20 push-ups, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, blah, blah, blah. Till you get to 20, and then you stop and take, like, a minute break between sets, okay? Like, the general rule is you take, like, a minute 30 break. If you're very exhausted and you really need to, then 2 minutes, although I strongly advise against that. Right? So you do that, you keep on doing that up until you reach to, like, 4 sets, and while you're doing these 4 sets, if possible, do progressive overload, okay? Now, if you're beginning out, I wouldn't stress over progressive overload too much, although at some point or another, you have to get onto it as soon as you can, right? Because it is the most important fundamental thing when it comes to working out and, sort of building muscle, like this, right? So, so what is progressive overload? Well, what it means is, let's say that we're doing bench press, okay? Or, no, let's start with squats, like back squat, like, just go up, down, whatever. Let's say, like, we'll start off with something light and easy. So that would be either body weight or the bar itself, okay? I'll do that for like 10 reps. And then after that, I would take like a little bit of a break because I'm not really tired at this point. I'm like, okay, maybe like 30 seconds to a minute, okay? And for you, it might be a minute 30. Don't be ashamed, like, if you have to take a longer break because you're just getting started. Who cares, okay? So, all right, you take that break. Then I get to your second set. So your second set, you will probably like amp it up if you feel comfortable to something like 15 pounds on both sides or 25 pounds on both sides, right? That's like a pretty like reasonable weight depending on how confident you are in your muscle strength, right? So you go ahead and do another 10 reps of those, and eventually you'll be like, okay, we got this, right? So you get that done. Take another minute and a half break. You go to your third set. Then you go up to something like 45. Like, you see where I'm going with it? You're progressively adding more weight to each set, right? And you're adding more resistance. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, why up, but not, like, down? Like, why don't you start with a heavy weight, then descend down? The reason why is because, well, one, it's gonna be like a muscle shock, right? Like, your muscles aren't gonna be used to sort of that, like, heavy weight immediately. You want to sort of, like, acclimate or, like, get your muscles used to lifting what, like, I call this, like, waking up your muscles. So, like, you get your muscles get used to this movement or this sort of position, right? Getting used to the rhythm, essentially. And then once it's getting used to it, then you start to put in, like, the actual heavy weights on, like, the third or fourth set. That's when you start to go big or go home, right? And on your third and fourth set, like, the first two sets you should finish completely. You should be able to finish those 2 sets completely, right? But, oh, sorry, that's my brother. But, what is it? So, the first 2 sets you should complete full, but the third and fourth set, is the point where like you kind of struggle to finish, and maybe you finish, maybe you don't, right? I wouldn't beat yourself over it if you can't finish it, but at the same time, I wouldn't just stop right there. Like I wouldn't just give yourself an expectation like I can't finish the entire night. No, try as hard as you can to finish that set. Okay? So, what is it? Like if you're at like your 8th rep on your 3rd set, try to push it to the 9th and 10th. But if you really don't think you can, then just rack it up. I'd rather you just not finish the set than give yourself any sort of injury because you want to push it to the limit, right? Or because the thing is, like, gym injuries are very serious and cause a lot of damage to you. And the last thing I want for you when going to the gym is to break a bone or like tear your muscles and then never work out again because of that incident, right? So, you know, the best thing for you to do at that point is just sort of, what is it, like, again, give yourself a break when needed, but still try to push yourself at the same time. Like, you need to figure out that balance for yourself. And for me, when it comes to legs, right, when I do squats, I start off with 25 on both sides. Then I do a 45-pound plate on both sides. Then I do 45, 15, it's like 60 on both sides. And then I push it to 60, 70 on both sides, right? Like, if I can get to that point. This is like, and here's another thing, right? Like, if you're afraid of doing a certain exercise because of that whole, like, I might break your bone and whatnot, I mean, that's a tough one myself because I'm kind of going through one of those fears at the moment, be honest with you. With the squatting especially because, again, that's not my comfort exercise, right? But do know and do understand that there is a safety net, in a sense, right? Like, for example, the biggest safety net you could do in all of the fundamental lifts is don't put a clip on. And many people will disagree with me on this, like, oh no, a clip is there for safety or to make sure that nobody gets injured. Bullshit. It makes me more injured, if anything, if I have the clips on, right? I get it somewhat for squats. That makes a bit of sense because when you're on like when you're in the squat rack area, there's like these bars that, like, if you put it down to a certain level, you could actually just drop down and then the bars will sort of catch the bar for you. And yeah, you can just kind of lie down there and then move away, right? But if it's something like bench press, and if you're down here but you can't lift it back up, there is no way, like you can't just kind of pick it back up and just walk away, right? Like, no. If you could, then you wouldn't have that issue, right? Instead, there's 2 options, and none of those options are available if you have a clip, by the way, just saying. Well, maybe the second one, but it's harder to do the second one than the first. Okay, so the first one, if you don't have clips, is sort of like tilt the bar off to the side, you know, just like tilt it like this. And then once the weights are off on that side, you tilt it the other way and sort of like pull the bar like out. So you have like the 45-pound barbell, and then sort of like you push it, you rack it up, you clean up the weights, whatever, right? And if you can't do that, then the next option is you sort of like roll it down your body. I haven't tried this one myself, actually, so I can't say whether this works the best or not. But apparently it's worked for some people. Like, some people call it the roll of shame, but I mean, it happens. Like, it happens to everyone at some point. I think I might have done it when I was, like, first starting out in general, right? So, like, you just gotta, like, start from here. You, like, literally shove it, like, roll it down. It's gonna hurt. But no shit, that's how weightlifting is. And it's gonna hurt a lot less compared to a broken bone or a torn muscle. So, I mean, rather you endure that pain than, you know, being in a hospital, right? So yeah, and that's like the most scary part about the gym, which can be solved through just those like safety techniques, right? And again, if you don't feel comfortable doing some of the lifts, actually a lot of the 3 fundamental lifts can be replaced with dumbbells, right? Like the little things that you hold on to, you know. So like how like a dumbbell squat will work is like you have 2 dumbbells on the side, you kind of lock your back like this, right? So like you can kind of feel like the kind of like back wings of your back. I don't know the medical term, I'm sorry. But the back parts of your back kind of like clench together. and then you start to do like squats like that instead. Okay, you could do that. Or same thing with deadlift. You can kind of like have two heavy dumbbells and like have them on the floor, just sort of lift them up. I've seen people do that, and I would say it works. I can't confirm because I never done that myself, but that works. What I know does work is dumbbell bench press. That is really effective actually, because and probably more safer than normal bench press because it's like you have the two dumbbells, and if you end up in this position and you can't lift it up, you just drop it. Done. You walk away. That's it. Right? And you know, once you're done, you could also like kind of latch yourself on. You kind of like use your legs to like, lift you up in a way, and your shit like that, right? Worst case scenario, you just use machines. And there is no shame in using machines. I use machines still. And that's because, again, I'm still kind of relearning how to get back in the gym. And it's totally fine. Honestly, no, machines are just still useful in general. Like, you go for certain alternatives for exercises if you can't do one of the 3 fundamental lifts. And again, I strongly recommend you look up YouTube videos on how to do... Like, you literally just go on the YouTube search bar and type in how to do bench press, how to do squats, how to do deadlift. You need 3 videos, you're done. You're ready to go to the gym. You'll be fine, okay? And thanks to the YouTube algorithm being really smart, it will take those search results of what you've seen from those 3 videos alone, and it will feed you more videos on certain exercises that you could do for upper body or lower. In case if it doesn't, for some reason, then, you know, just look up upper body exercises, lower body exercises. Those are the 2 search terms you need, and then you're done. Or you can look up a workout regimens. I know, like, plenty of YouTubers have workout regimens. I might, if you guys are interested, you know, you can leave a comment down below. I can, put my workout regimen, or, like, sort of general plan I do for, like, each day, right? I can at least say, though, for cardio, it's almost always the same. Which is, I do 30 minutes of boxing, and then right after that, I do 30 minutes of, well, I try to do 30 minutes of cardio, but of, like, on the treadmill. If not, it's, like, 15 minutes on the treadmill, and then if I have enough energy left, assuming I'm not tired the fuck out, then it's 50 minutes elliptical, or 50 minutes on the cycler, or whatever. And, oh yeah, here's another thing, too. Time isn't the most important thing when it comes to working out. You don't need to meet that, like, 30-minute quota or hour quota. It's good if you do. But what matters most is, did you get a good workout in? And the best signs for that is, are you sore? Are you tired? Can you not do any other exercise at this current moment? If you said yes to any of those questions, congratulations, you had a good workout. Now go ahead and rest. And eat healthy too. I can make another video on dieting another day, but it seems like I'm going way over limit, and I'm not trying to make these videos super long because of rendering and all this other crap. But either way, yeah. So go ahead and try exercising. It's really good. And you know, if you can't do exercising at a gym for some reason, calisthenics are also a good option, right? Just doing push-ups or normal squats, or like figuring out some other exercise. There's like a ridiculous amount of exercises you could do. Look them up on YouTube. Find whatever suits you best. And again, if you're interested in a sort of workout regimen, you know, come back to me and leave a comment, and I'm willing to give that to you, right? So yeah, get the gains, brother. Get these fucking muscles, yeah! Alright, I'll see ya. Bye-bye.